Hey neighbor, we're flipping beds today. We're flipping raised beds. So we planted some of this during the fall and we made a heck of a crop. But you know what? We're in January. Looks like we're gonna have a warm spring. We got past that cold spell. It's time to flip these beds, get another planting in there because we can make another crop before springtime or late springtime gets here. And I'm gonna show you my secret weapon on flipping these raised beds. All right, my first bed here is beets. We planted these back there in the fall, like I said here, and we've been pulling some of them. You see these skips in here? We've been enjoying them for the last little bit as we need them, but now it's time. We see we got some burn from the cold weather. These things are pretty much matured. It is time to clean it out and to start over. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these beets right here. And you know, a lot of people think, and I've been guilty this past, what am I going to do with all these beets if I gather them at one time? Well, that's what we're going to show you today, is what we do with some of these beets. Now, some of them's a little bit on the small side, but we're going to go ahead and get them all out of the way because it is time for us to replant. Now, these beets right here, I direct seeded, not using my secret weapon that I'm going to show you today. And I got them a little too thick. Well, we always have these intentions of coming back thinning things out, but we don't always do that. That's the reason I got some little bitty ones in here, because they was planted too thick. But you know what, for a little bitty raised bed, they've made plenty of beets. We've enjoyed them, and we're going to be able to pickle some of these today and be able to enjoy them on into the year. I just handed them beets off to Mama Hoss to get started with them down there, processed them, and she told me that we're going to be fermenting, not pickling. Same thing on these carrots here. We're going to be fermenting these carrots. It's my new way. I love these carrots and beets. It's fermenting. Now, I'm not going to pretend to tell y'all that I'm the expert in that field. I'm really good at growing them, but when it comes to all that kind of stuff, Mama Hoss is the boss. But today, she's going to include me, and I'm just going to show y'all how we do that. So back to the carrots here. Made a heck of a crop of carrots. So you see this bed right here, we've been picking a few of these, but not as many of these as we did the beets. These carrots came through the cold weather extremely well. They're really resilient there. These little beds right here are about 6 feet long, about 1.5 feet wide here. We got our irrigation in there, but I'm gonna tell you what, we made one heck of a carrot harvest here. Look at there, I'm so dead proud of myself. I have never grown carrots like this before. They really turned out good. We planted these in the fall, grew them throughout the winter. But you know what? We got time to get another planting in. That's the reason I want to get these out of the ground. We're going to ferment these, and then we're going to flip this bed and we're going to plant something else in here. All right, folks, just look here what you can do on just a small raised bed with carrots. Like I said, we've been pulling some of these, enjoying them, but here at the last harvest here, when we cleaned out this bed, we have got a huge amount of carrots. Pretty simple what we're gonna do. We're gonna stir up this bed a little bit. We're gonna get those weeds out of there. We're gonna add some really good compost, not a lot, but we're gonna recharge these soils with some really good compost. And then we're going to put some of our complete organic in there and mix it all up well and then smooth it back out and get it ready for planting. So I'm using a new product today to plant these beds with, and seed tape. We just introduced and got it in. It's new for 2024. And I'll show you how it works. It's a great product because it makes things easy. And that's what we all like about gardening, is easy. So when these little seed packs right here, and these are Mylar bags right here that have a zip lock on the top there, in case you don't use all your seed tape, you can put them back in here, seal them back and use them for later. But inside of each seed pack is 2 rolls here, and each roll is 7.5 foot long. So you get a total of 15 foot of seed tape. Now, I'm not going to need all that today, so I'm going to be able to save some for later because I'm going to plant 2 rows in this raised bed right here. Unlike the way I did them last time, my spacing is going to be perfect today. Now this is a biodegradable fabric right here. And what has happened is they have put for us the Detroit dark red beet in this fabric right here at the spacing it needs. It's not exact, but it's pretty dadgum close. So all we have to do is make us a little fur and then put our seed tape in and cover it up. And we got really good spacing, which is hard to do on these inconsistent seeds like carrots and beets and radishes and things like that. That's the biggest problem, is getting our spacing right, because these seeds are so dadgum small. And you know, like I said, we always got good intentions to come back and wanting to thin them out, but you don't have to worry about that with this seed tape. Yeah, you just put it in there, cover it up. Now normally on these type seeds that we use for seed tapes, about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch is what you want to cover them up. But the good thing about the tape is all of them are the exact same depth. So it's really consistent on your germination as far as they start coming up, because your spacing's good and your depth is really consistent there. Simply just cover it up like that right there. And that fabric there is gonna decompose and be gone in just a few days there. What I got left over there, I just pinch off. Easy peasy, I got that side planted. All right, so it's time to put my irrigation back in here. Just simply take my little tubing. I'm gonna run it right on top of where my drip tape was at, staple it down. Now you probably noticed I planted beets back where my carrots was, because we want to practice crop rotation. We don't want to plant carrots back where carrots was, but planting beets back where carrots was is going to be fine. And in the other bed where we had beets, we're going to plant carrots back. So the seed tape really works on those small seeds. It's really hard to plant. It really doesn't lend itself well to bigger seeds like corn and peas, things like that. So you probably won't ever see seed tape used like that. But anything, let's talk about onions, mustards, kohlrabi, radishes, anything like that lends itself extremely well for the seed tape. Now you can use seed tape out in the garden in the flat, but I really think raised beds is the key. It just makes it so dadgum easy. So I know in January we normally don't think a lot about gardening, but it's January now. Ideal time to get out here and flip these beds so we get another crop in. We should be able to get a good harvest of beets and carrots in come early spring, and then we can flip these beds again and put some of our summer crops in there. Mama Hoss has already got beets down there working on them, so let's carry her these carrots, and she's going to show you what we do when we get these big harvests so we can save them and enjoy them later. Well, this is really not my department. Mama Hoss's department is to preserving and putting things up, but I always struggle about harvesting everything at one time so that we can save it. I want to get a little stingy sometimes and let it roll on and roll on, and I really should go ahead and flip those beds. So today when we're fermenting, not pickling as I misspoke earlier, Mama Hoss is going to help me and show you how we do this. So I've peeled that beet right there.
Rinse it off.
Rinse it off. And then just kind of cut it up in chunks, or?
In slices, yeah, like you would eat them. And there's just 3 ingredients: your water, your salt, and your vegetable.
So this is real easy. Now, we used to didn't ferment much, but we've gotten where we ferment a lot. Now, everybody's got their own taste difference, what they like and what they don't like. I really enjoy the fermented taste of these beets and carrots and pretty much everything I've eaten. I love good fermented pickles.
It can be a little sour, and some people just don't like that sour flavor. It's maybe an acquired taste, but I really like it.
And it keeps well.
It keeps well, and it's very good for you. It's got those good bacteria that keeps your gut.
Keeps your gut in check. Yep. All right.
So you can cut these beets up any way. You can cut them into little matchsticks or just simply slice them. I need a better knife here. And for the salt content, you usually want 2.5% salt.
Now what we got here is Redmond salt, am I right? That's
Right.
that natural salt. We've got one, we use a lot of that
Yeah,
right there.
you do not want to use any iodized salt. You can use kosher sea salt. You can use canning and pickling salt, but nothing with the iodide.
So what
in
we
it.
done is we ordered us a big old bag of this Redmond salt here to keep out here so we don't have to worry about salt. And it's a really good product.
Okay, so when you get your vegetables cut up, you just simply want to put them in your jar. And for a quart jar, for my beets, I use 3 tablespoons of the Redmond salt and then 4 cups of water. And sometimes I add a little bit of herbs in there. I like rosemary in there. So let's get the salt in there first. And that's a tablespoon.
That's what you want, one of those?
3 of those.
3 of those? And I guess it needs to be fairly level, huh?
Yeah.
1. That seems like a lot of salt to me.
does.
2. 3.
Okay. And then we're going to pour 4 cups of water in here. And I could have used a smaller, like a pint jar. And then you want to put your weight on it. And if you don't have these type of weights, you can use a Ziploc bag filled with water and immerse it in there.
That's our mason top pickle weights that we sell, and it comes with our fermentation kit.
You want to keep all the ingredients below the water level.
And here's the secret right here is these pickle pipes.
Yeah. So the pickle pipes lets the bad air out and keeps any air from going in there. And that's all there is to it. You want to let it sit for 7 to 8 days. I have let it sit for a year, and it turns into beet. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. And the juice is really good. And another thing you can do is after you ferment it, you can run it through your freeze dryer and make you some beet powder. A lot of people like the beet powder in with like a breakfast shake.
Right. So this right here, after 14 days, we'll leave this out at room temperature, and then we'll put it in the refrigerator. And how long will it last in there?
6 months.
Yep.
We've never had a problem. We always tend to eat them all up.
All right, let's do some carrots.
You want to make sure there's not any bad spots on them. And make sure you get all the soil off of them. And you can use all sizes. I even like to use the baby carrots that you don't even have to cut up.
Yeah, I don't grow a lot of baby carrots. Most of my carrots are big. I grew a big carrot crop this time of big carrots. I don't think in all of my 58 years I've ever grown carrots like I did this year.
I don't think so either. And you can even use these carrot tops to make pesto, stir fries. These that go to our pigs. They love those carrot tops. And now if you just take that brush and scrub them real hard.
All right, so this is our carrot and potato brush right here that we sell. This thing is USA made. And if you ain't got one of these, you got to have a few of these. We keep a few of these down here in the drawer all the time.
So just run it under the water and it'll make it pretty
Now, I'm trying to
shiny and
pretend
clean.
like you all, I do this all the time, but I don't. But it's pretty easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So we don't peel them.
No,
We just brush
do
them
not
off.
peel them.
Look how nice and pretty they are.
Kind of like shucking corn in it.
Yeah.
Or silking corn. And what variety of carrots are these?
This is a new variety that the seed company sent us that we're trialing out. We may end up putting them on as a part of our carrot lineup. It's a good carrot. Has done really well for us. I guess you can pretty much ferment about anything, but carrots, beets, and things like that lend itself well. Pickles.
If you've never fermented anything before, carrots is what you need to start with. It is the easiest, most forgiving. Some vegetables that have a higher sugar content sometimes aren't as forgiving, but carrots are really easy.
Yep.
I would start with that.
All right, so how do we do this?
All right, so on the carrots, we're going to use this larger jug here. And you want to pack them in, unlike the
Well, these are
beets.
some that come out of your garden, right?
Yeah, I went ahead and pulled some this morning. I like to have the different colors, and you just want to start stacking them in there. And every once in a while, put you a sprig of rosemary and put you some garlic. You can use any kind of, you can even put dill, pretty much any type of seasonings.
Well, we're going to keep it simple. Rosemary and garlic. Now, what do you call this cut that you're doing on these carrots?
It's just a carrot stick cut, I think.
Carrot stick cut. That's as fancy as we
A
need
match
to get with
cut stick? I'm not really sure. I'm just cutting them into fourths. You could make them even smaller. I think it's like is it a julienne cut?
Yeah.
That's really small.
My carrots seem to be a little bit bigger than what your carrots are, you would think,
For the first time
for
ever.
the first time ever.
But now I planted mine later.
Yeah.
So they're not fully grown yet.
But you know, this is something we not only eat as snacks, but we eat this with our meals. As we get in a hurry and need something quick, you just pull it down off the shelf right there. You got a great addition to any meal.
You putting enough rosemary in there?
I'm probably going to put a little more.
We need to use all that garlic.
All right, I got it stacked in there pretty well. What you think about that?
Let's see. You want to pack it as tight as you can get it.
Now, could you do beets the same way as far as filling it all the way top?
Yeah, you
Okay.
could. And preferably that would be the best thing to do. You just didn't have me enough beets. Cut that one up too. I think it'll fit. They're going to shrink up some. So you want them.
I'm not near as good at this cutting up as you are.
We're going to need, in this, we'll need 6 tablespoons. Measure out 6 tablespoons. You don't want to put too much salt. You've done that before, haven't you? With sauerkraut. Okay, so I've got about as many packed in there as will fit.
Yeah, one thing I've learned, no more than what I've done, is measure everything, especially
Yeah,
salt.
all right. So that's a half a cup of salt, which is what I thought. Then you want to fill it up with water. And a little bit more water there. Okay. And then again, you want to put your weight on there and keep everything up under that liquid. And then your pickle pipe. And if you don't have pickle pipes, you can just put a regular lid on there and not tighten it all the way. But then you're going to have to, what they call burp it every day. Open it and let the gases out. With these pickle pipes, you don't have to do anything.
And with this fermentation kit that we sell, heck, there's all kind of things in there. There's
Everything you need.
everything you need.
Except the
Makes-
jars.
Makes it simple. So we got that right there. How many days?
About 7 days.
7 days, and then we put it in the refrigerator. We started enjoying them, and there we have them. All right, so we got a lot of carrots. So it looks like you'll be spending your afternoon putting up carrots, fermented carrots. How many jars do you think we'll end up with?
I don't know.
Several.
Probably, yeah, several.
Yep. All right, there you have it, folks. That's the way you can take that harvest when you get ready to flip those beds. Instead of letting it go to waste, you can preserve it so you can enjoy it for months on end.